Right now, rising oil prices are shaking the global economy, but at the same time, they might be quietly accelerating the shift toward electric cars. And interestingly, one country seems perfectly positioned to take advantage of this moment: China. So here's the situation. A recent conflict involving the United States, Israel, and Iran has disrupted oil supplies coming out of the Middle East. And as a result, crude oil prices shot up. Now, when oil prices go up, everything feels it. Fuel gets expensive, transportation costs rise, and inflation becomes a real concern. Some experts are even warning this could slow down the global economy. But here's where things get interesting. As petrol prices rise, electric vehicles, or EVs, suddenly start looking a lot more attractive. Think about it. If fuel keeps getting more expensive, people naturally start asking, maybe it's time to switch? And right now, Chinese EV makers are ready for exactly that moment. China is already the world's biggest producer and exporter of electric vehicles. Companies like BYD are producing EVs at massive scale, and more importantly, at lower prices than many competitors. But there's a catch. Back home, the market is getting crowded. There are too many EV brands competing. Prices are dropping, and growth is starting to slow down. So naturally, Chinese companies are now looking outward, toward international markets. And honestly, the timing couldn't be better for them. You've got two things happening at once. Gasoline prices going up, electric cars becoming cheaper. That combination is powerful. Experts believe this could help Chinese EV brands expand, especially in Asian countries that rely heavily on imported oil. Here's something a lot of people don't realize. Around 60% of Asia's oil supply comes from the Middle East, and a big chunk of that passes through a critical route called the Strait of Hormuz. Right now, that route is under pressure and supply is restricted. So, countries in Asia are feeling the heat, literally and economically. Some governments are even asking people to work from home, use less air conditioning. That's how serious the situation is. Because of all this, EVs are starting to look less like a luxury and more like a necessity. In fact, one energy think tank estimated that electric vehicles already reduced global oil demand by 1.7 million barrels per day last year. That's huge. And in China itself, EVs are already making a big difference, cutting oil consumption significantly. From China's perspective, this isn't just about business, it's about long-term strategy. The country has been investing heavily in renewable energy like wind and solar. So, while others are struggling with oil dependence, China is relatively more prepared. And honestly, this situation kind of proves their point. Relying too much on imported oil isn't just an economic issue. It's also a security risk. Now, that doesn't mean everything is perfect. China's EV industry still has a big problem: overcapacity. Basically, they're producing more cars than they can sell. And not every company is going to survive. Experts say only a small number of these brands will remain profitable in the long run. Also, markets like the US are still difficult to enter because of heavy tariffs and protection for local companies like Tesla. Honestly, this feels like one of those turning points. We've seen this before when energy prices spike. People start rethinking their choices. And this time, EVs are no longer some futuristic idea. They're actually practical and accessible. At the same time, it's clear that global events, like conflicts, can have a huge impact on everyday decisions, even something like what car you drive. So yeah, while rising oil prices are creating pressure around the world, they're also speeding up the shift toward electric vehicles and giving Chinese automakers a big opportunity to expand globally. The real question is, will this be the moment EVs truly go mainstream? Or just another temporary push? Let me know what you think.